What's happening, everybody? I'm DJ Sixsmith. DeMarre Carroll from the Brooklyn Nets in the house. We are live on Facebook here on CBS Local Sports. DeMarre, great to have you. How's everything going, man?
Going great. Everything's going great.
That's awesome. So season opens up Wednesday. You're now a member of the Brooklyn Nets, new to New York City. What's it like being in Brooklyn so far? What do you think?
It's great. Great atmosphere, great people. I love the city. It's basically the second coming of Manhattan.
Very true. So you're reunited with your guy, Kenny Atkinson, and that's where you really had some great success in Atlanta, those 60-win teams. So what's it been like being one of the older guys now, one of the veteran leaders on a young team? What do you think so far?
I don't like the old, but it's great. You know, a lot of guys look up to me. We got a lot of young talent, and it's my job to kind of help these guys grow and become successful NBA players, not only on the court, but off the court, too.
So we're taking your questions right now for DeMarre Carroll. Feel free to hit us up on Facebook. And we had Joe Harrison here a couple of months back. He's quite a character. He's a great locker room guy. He can hit some threes as well. Yeah. So when you think about Joe, the rest of the guys, D'Angelo Russell, Jeremy Lin, I mean, when you look at the team in the preseason so far, what stood out to you?
We can really shoot the ball. I feel like we got better behind the arc. We shooting the three ball really well. We playing unselfish. It's kind of remind me when I first got to Atlanta. So I feel like we going in the right direction. It's not going to happen overnight, but we got to continue to keep trying to grow.
So I think you have a really interesting story. I mean, from battling liver disease to being in the D-League, bouncing around the league, getting a big-time contract. I mean, how would you define your NBA career and your basketball journey so far?
Basically, I feel like it could be the norm for a lot of, people who kind of come in the league and kind of bounce out, kind of give them a little extra motivation. But at the end of the day, it definitely was a lot of obstacles. But, when adversity hits, the one who stands up to it usually survives.
All right, let's get a couple questions here from Facebook Live.
What are your goals this season, both individually and as a team?
As a team, I feel like our goal is to try to be better at the end of the year than we are at the beginning of the year, try to grow. It don't happen overnight. For sure, try to win more than 20 games that they won last year.
That would be nice.
That would be great. I'd probably lose my mind being in the playoffs for 5 years straight. But individually, just trying to come back and have I feel like whenever I'm healthy, I can perform at a high level and basically show everybody that I'm still the 3D guy that I was when I was in Atlanta.
So you mentioned the success in Atlanta and in Toronto. I mean, how much of a surprise was it to get traded to Brooklyn and just be in a different environment that's not playoffs right here and right now, but maybe playoffs a couple of years down the road?
It wasn't a surprise. I think it was a mutual agreement between the organization and myself. But coming to Brooklyn, when I first got to Atlanta, they wasn't really that much better. I think they was right down on the outside of the playoffs. So, it's definitely a learning curve. It's all about building a culture and trying to sustain that culture and become a successful team in the long run. That's the big picture.
DeMarre Carroll from the Brooklyn Nets hanging out. Let's get some more questions here on Facebook.
Do you guys use the low expectations that are given to you from outside the organization sort of as motivation?
Motivation, for sure.
People are doubting you right now.
For sure. That's what you want to always go up under the radar, and then you rise to the top. You don't want to be that team that's out there talking noise, we are going to make the playoffs, we're going to do this. You want to be that team that continue to keep getting better, and people kind of sleep on you, and you look up and you're a successful team. I could look at a prime example of last year in the NBA was the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
They was one of the teams nobody talked about them, but then all of a sudden they had to win 15 games in a row before people started saying
this close to making the playoffs,
this close to making the playoffs. So now all of a sudden they consider a lead team. So we just want to continue to keep getting better and, don't worry about what other people say.
So you mentioned the Miami Heat, and Dion Waiters, he has that dog in him. He's a big-time player. When you think about guys that you've had to defend over the years, give me a couple guys that you're thinking like, man, it's going to be a tough dude to lock up today.
Of course, D-Wade in his prime, I feel like any guy who's shifty like him is good. Kevin Durant might be the toughest guard.
The length?
Yeah, because he can rise over the top of you. And when he was in OKC, every shot was for him, so you got to play every possession. So, and of course, LeBron,
How do you actually guard somebody like that? The size, the strength. I mean, you've figured it out over the years. You've had good success.
A guy like LeBron, you can't guard him one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. You got to do it collectively as a team. But you have to be that first initial guy to kind of stop him a little bit and then you got to have kind of help. So I feel like you got to be like a little gnat, you know.
Just pestering him all day?
Just pestering him. He's just swatting the gnat out your face. So, because you can't, nobody physically can stop him one-on-one.
All right, let's keep it going here on Facebook Live. What else we got?
It was briefly brought up, but how excited are you to be back under Coach Atkinson?
Very, very excited. You know, just to be back on what I quote-unquote call the Atlanta Hawks family is great. You know, he was big for me when I was in Atlanta. He helped my development as a player. And him, Quinn Snyder, and Darvin Ham, those three guys really helped my success. And, of course, Mike Budenholzer, he brought me there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just happy to be back under his wing, and I know he understands my game. He understands what I can do and can contribute. So I'm very excited to be back with him.
All right, let's go off the court for a moment. You do a lot of great work in the community, especially when it comes to liver disease. So you have your own foundation. So why is it so important for you to raise awareness for that?
Because I feel like the liver is, you know, you hear about the kidney, the heart, but you never hear about the liver. You know, I feel like a lot of people don't understand what the liver actually does and how big of an organ it is and how important it is. So I feel like me bringing awareness to it and using my platform to let people know about the liver is only going to help not only myself but families who are battling liver conditions like myself.
So you're a big fashion guy. You got some fashion news. It's coming out in the spring in terms of your line, but I want to know who are some of the other guys on the Nets that have got some good fashion tips? Who's got good style out there?
Let's see. My guy Sean Kilpatrick got fashion.
Yep.
D'Angelo brings that West Coast
That's
kind of
nice
fashion.
to have in Brooklyn, yeah. Nice
he
little intersection
He
there.
got that West Coast kind of fashion. I'm like the Atlanta guy fashion. You know.
So what is Atlanta fashion, though? Explain that to me.
People always say I dress like I'm kind of like a rapper, but I'm not a rapper. I'm just, I guess it's the Atlanta fashion. That's how we
Just
dress.
that vibe.
Yeah, we're a little flashy, you know, a little flashy. You know, we got the braces.
I see it, yeah.
It's like, you know, and those West Coast guys dress like they just came out the house in anything. But
Yep, buttoned up to the top sometimes. I mean, you never know what you're getting with these guys.
Yeah, and you know how East Coast guys dress.
It's true. I mean, I'm an East Coast guy. Huh?
With the Timberlands. And,
no tips for me, though.
You know, all that, so.
How about the new do for Jay Lynn? It's been very much talked about. I'm a fan of it, but what do you think? What do the guys think about it in the locker room?
I like it. I told Jalen. I'm happy somebody else on the team has dreads, so I don't be the only dread here.
Yeah, usually the only guy, right? Not too many dudes with dreads, right?
With Jeremy, I actually looks really good on him. I feel like, and you know,
I think it's better than the spiked hair all the way to the top.
He pulled it off, so I think Rondé's trying to put some dreads in his head, so. You know, I'm rubbing off on a couple of them, so it's pretty good.
I like to hear that. All right, I know you got to run to Brooklyn, but before we let you go, when you think about the Nets this year, you guys want to get better as a whole. But going into the game against Indiana, what's most important for game number 1 of the season right here and right now in this moment?
I think taking advantage of the opportunity. I feel like they're a young team. They're just like us. Basically, you know, they got rid of Paul George and a couple of pieces of Monte Ellis, so they kind of like a young team, and we're a young team, and we, you know, it's two young teams going against each other, and I feel like it's an opportunity for the better team or the team who performs the best that night to pick up a win. And you know how hard it is in the NBA to get that first win,
yeah.
so I feel like this is a great opportunity for us.
There you have it. A lot of new faces and new places. DeMarre Carroll in Brooklyn this year. DeMarre, thanks so much, and best of luck this year. All right, there you have it. For all of us here at CBS, DJ Sixsmith saying so long. We'll see you next time.